Okay, so here is the EVH Frankie that came out at NAMM in 2020. I got my hands on one and I wanted to do a video that shows a little bit more in-depth information on the guitar than what some people have shown on YouTube, or from what I've seen anyway. It'll be a little more in-depth to some degree. This is basically a relic paint job based on the EVH Frankie from Van Halen's early years. Originally the guitar was black and white striped, and he repainted it and played this all the way up until the 5150 tour, until it got retired. And he started playing this 5150 style Berettas, the hockey stick Berettas that we all know and love. But it's pretty cool. This guitar is reliced really close to what the actual Frankie looks like. I've analyzed lots of pictures and a lot of video footage, but there are a few things obviously that probably aren't exact, but honestly this is a great relic job. It's made in Mexico, as everyone watching this video knows, I'm sure, but here are a few things I'll point out. First of all, the tremolo bar is a Floyd Rose 1000, which is a great tremolo. There's nothing wrong with a Floyd Rose 1000. The pickup is an EVH Wolfgang pickup, I assume. I thought it was a Frankenstein pickup. I own an EVH Wolfgang, and it sounds better than the Wolfgang pickup. So I don't know if it's the body wood or if it's this diagonal placement that Eddie used. I don't know, but this guitar, I guarantee you, sounds, this particular one sounds better than my Wolfgang that I've got. Sounds a little bit smoother and I guess browner sounding. As most everyone watching this video probably knows, the pickup in the front is not wired, but it is a real working pickup. The mounting of this pickup is super clean. All the wiring is super clean on the inside, so that's not really super relic. The wiring is not relic looking. If you want to make this look authentic, you could stain up the wiring, maybe shred it a little bit. The pick guard has got the whatever it is, the sticker backing, the shielding. I doubt Eddie's had that. Seriously doubt that. There are not eye hooks on the straps. So, I mean, Fender, EVH, they could have put the eye hooks on it. I think that would have been a nice touch. Not a big deal. You can pick those up at a hardware store for probably $1 for both of them or less. It would have been nice to get strap locks. I'm not complaining. The neck is great. The neck feels good. It's got some type of oil finish on it. Personally, it's too dark. Eddie's neck was very worn. Lots of wear and tear on it, but I like the dark look. I think it looks cool. Makes it look aged, so I love it. The neck feels great. So no issues there. On the back side of the guitar, what we've got is the open back that shows the claw. So if you want to adjust anything regarding springs or tension, it's easy access, just like you would want to do on the road, or if you were Van Halen yourself, you were going to tinker with it and mess with your Floyd Rose. If you change string gauges, etc., a lot of times you're going to want to tighten up the screws on the claw, maybe add a spring. That's what the Floyd Rose 1000 looks like. Okay, back of the neck. It's oiled, I believe. It is not stained or anything like that, so it's got a really good feel to it. EVH tuners. Here's what the relicing looks like on the bottom side of the guitar. along the back. I bought this guitar at Sam Ash, and I looked, there was two of them. One was serial number 51, which I got. I thought that's kind of cool. I got the 51 series, and the other one was 715. This one was set up better. The action was lower, and it just felt better. So I picked this one, and I noticed on the back of it that the serial number was 51. So I don't know if the first models are set up a little bit more carefully or if it was just the way it came out of the box. But all the relic jobs, they're identical. They're clearly done by a person because markings like this, while they're in the same spot, they look differently on each model. So they follow a template. They have to. They're going to mimic Eddie's guitar. So it's got to be as accurate as possible. I do have a Van Halen Frankie replica that was built by my buddy Dion here in Nashville. And I got this 20 years ago, probably, close to it. And I wanted to show you, this has a real Floyd Rose on it. This is what the back of a German Floyd Rose looks like in comparison to the 1000. So for anybody curious about what that looks like, this German block looks narrower and it looks a little thicker, but I have read they're identical in weight. I've heard that the Floyd Rose 1000 metal is not quite as durable and it is susceptible to wear out a little bit quicker than the vintage Floyd Rose. But I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, this is one big example of, or difference between the 1000 and the Shaler German Floyd. This one's got this type of bar attachment on it, as opposed to the 1000, which I kind of prefer the 1000 style, where you can unscrew a bar like this and just reattach it. It doesn't get as loose over time, where the Shaler one tends to get a little wobbly on the inside. You need a physical wrench to tighten that up frequently. But I will say that the tuners, the fine tuners on the Shaler are a lot smoother turning than the 1000s, but probably over time that'll get a little freer, a little bit smoother. This has been around since the early 80s, as opposed to this one that's been around since well, this year. Another issue, I shouldn't say another issue. One issue I've got is the D-Tuna. When you set this guitar, the Floyd, flush to the body like Edward does, the D-Tuna hits the body. So if you're gonna pull it out, you need to pull this bar up, and then you're able to pull the D-Tuna out like this. And then when you have the D-Tuna out, it doesn't hit the body, so it doesn't rest on the body. So you can push it in, sort of, but it hits the body of the guitar. So you got to pick it up, which kind of defeats the purpose. It's supposed to be an easy setup. So Eddie, what he did, if you look at this guitar, this Relic has got this quarter underneath the whammy bar, and Eddie liked the bar to fit flush to the body. He liked the bar and the body to touch. For tone, for resonance, it vibrated the body. Plus, if the Floyd Rose is on the body, if you break a string, you're not going to have the string tension tighten up and everything go out of tune. So that's great too. So I think what I'm going to do is buy me a quarter, get the 71 quarter, and I'm going to screw it onto the body, and what that'll do is it'll fill up this gap, and the Floyd will be flush once again, and that D-Tuna will not touch the body. It's barely touching, but the only way to engage or disengage it would be, one, lift it manually like this and then disengage it with your hand, or set the bar so it's slightly floating, which is not the Van Halen setup. So if you have this guitar set up like Eddie, you don't want to do that. One attribute of this guitar that is overlooked, isn't really talked about a lot, is the headstock. The original headstock for the Van Halen Frankenstein was a beak neck Kramer. They call it a beak neck because it looks like a bird's beak. And Eddie broke this neck and replaced it with a fender neck later. So yeah, you'll see videos of Frankenstein with this neck, but the original neck that he had was this Kramer neck. And that's why Kramer approached Eddie to endorse them, because everybody thought he was playing a Kramer when really he had a Strat body and a Gibson pickup and a Kramer neck. So it was a mutt. It's not a big deal. Truthfully, I like the fender neck a lot nicer than this beak neck. The beak neck is nice. I think it looks a little goofy. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean that's a sexy headstock. It doesn't really get prettier than that, in my opinion. But the radius of the fender neck feels nicer. But yeah, beak neck was the original, and the fender neck was the replacement. So there you go. I'm going to do a playthrough on some of the tones through my Fractal Axe 8 to give everybody some type of idea on what this sounds like. So I hope that gives a pretty good comparison and maybe opens up a few conversations or answers a few questions on some of the differences in this guitar and the original Frankenstein, which this is pretty true. This is pretty true to the original Frankenstein. Pretty true. And of course this is as well. I really don't care that there are some differences, but oh, this one here, last thing, the pickup obviously is mounted with a pickup bracket, which Eddie didn't do. The Frankenstein was like this, and I think that's really cool how Edward just he just stuck that in there. It's like he chiseled this cavity out, just screwed it to the body. Happy accident, man. The pickup just wired right, stuck to the body, and created a lot of tone that way. One pickup, one volume, whammy bar on the body. Rock and roll.